All right, we are live at FETC. Jen is walking in. She's going to sit down too, because why not? We've got some good guests here too. So, Brittany, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Brittany Sills. I'm the Chief Operations Officer at Esports. And at Esports, we're focused on helping individuals find their pathways through esports, mainly competition, education. We have a huge 8,000 square foot facility in Duncanville, Texas. And so we've been in the space, and we're just really focused on helping students find their passion.
Brittany, that was a professional introduction.
It was.
Pro status.
Nailed
Chris.
it.
So, Christopher Turner at Southern University in Baton Rouge, our main campus location, where I'm the esports director for our K-12 school, our undergraduate, and also coordinator of our mixed reality virtual innovation gaming and esports institute for Southern University Law Center.
Love it. Love it. All right, Jen, now that you're here and we guilted you into coming over, last second, do a little intro for us as well.
Hey everyone, Jen Dawson. I am an esports solution specialist here at CDWG. Been in technology for quite some time, but prior to that, used to teach English overseas, which is really where I developed my love for education and creating impact for students. So I'm very fortunate to be able to help school districts, both at the high school level and collegiate, help them build up their programs and find out what they need to do so they can do more than just play games, because there's so much that can be done. So glad to be here.
All right, love it. Brittany, back to you. Tell us a little bit about your why. Why are you involved in esports? Why is this the area that you've chosen to focus on?
Yeah, so why am I involved in esports? Why am I interested in it? Esports really is it's such an engaging way to learn and to reach people, and everybody is a gamer in some format, whether they're sitting up late at night in the bed on their phones playing a game, or whether they're actually streaming and really getting into it and they have this Twitch channel with all these followers. Everybody is a gamer in some kind of way, and it's the future, right? Like, we're at FETC, it's a technology conference, and technology is taking over. It's taken over, right? And it's not going anywhere, it's only growing. And when you get into esports and you get into gaming, it's such a revolutionary way to actually get people to learn. You know, when you think about esports, anybody who's been in esports at any time realizes esports as an industry is like a startup, but all of the individual companies are really like startups just as much. And because of that, you learn so much, and you get to be such a well-rounded person. You just have all of these skills in your tool belt that you accumulate very fast, and it's no different when it comes to education. When you have students that are getting into esports, they're having to learn the technology component when it comes to streaming, and they get to learn so many different things. You know, they get to learn about ping rates, and they get to be technology snobs in the best way, because they want the best, and they're learning about building computers so that they can have the best experience and the most competitive edge when it comes to gaming. And so that's what makes esports so fun, is because students are learning so much and they're not even thinking about it. They're just serious about what they're doing because they're passionate, and that's it's amazing. So that's me as I attack the mic.
All right, Chris.
I can't beat that.
I mean, you were a fine arts guy.
Yeah.
So you were an artist, are an artist.
Yeah.
Now esports. So how'd that happen?
I think for me it was the college and career pathways. I've never saw a bigger ecosystem than esports and gaming. And then looking at my demographic that I serve every day, which is underrepresented communities, and knowing that only 2% of African Americans is in the space, I just found that we should be putting emphasis on an infrastructure and the ecosystem and exposing our kids, our youth, to the possibilities, and not just from a competitive perspective, but also, like I said before, the career pathways. There's so many things you can get into, from being a surgeon to working behind the scenes, behind the screen, as far as coding, computer science. I mean, even health and wellness at this point is critical within the ecosystem. So just exposing, our youth to that. But I mean, outside of me being a visual artist, I'm an avid gamer. I try to game every day. I'm probably going to try to sneak in a game or two today. It's just my safe space, and just it gives me something else to do. And I know we both enjoy that.
What game are you sneaking in today?
Probably Fortnite, no bill.
Little Fortnite, no bill.
Yeah.
Brittany, you a gamer?
I game casually when I can. I've revamped my Twitch channel, so you may be seeing some things soon. But as of now, I'm pretty casual, a little Overcooked 2, slowly getting into it, nothing competitive. Don't judge me on that one. But yeah, just a little bit.
What's that Twitch channel? Drop that handle.
I'm gonna save the announcement.
Okay.
I was gonna say, what's funny to me, and we talk about this all the time when people say, I'm not a gamer. And then you're like, but I do have an announcement coming out on Twitch. Like, oh, okay, not a gamer.
You're embedded in the culture.
But I got an announcement coming on Twitch. Perfect. So I know there's a million different things going on here. Is there anything that either of you or Jen that you're really excited about seeing or seeing represented here?
Absolutely. So I'm excited about quite a few things here. Chris's sessions, I'm looking forward to definitely checking those out. He's got a lot of knowledge. He's impacted a lot of students, continues to do so. So I'm looking forward to seeing that on the stage. And then in addition to that, Esports has 2 different sessions with Sonic. So we did one today and we have another one tomorrow. That's very exciting. In addition to, all of the friends and family we've met on LinkedIn in the esports space, being able to connect with them in person is a whole nother element. So very exciting.
I'm excited to see, they got this fellow named Doc that everybody gets excited about. He's from up in Boise somewhere, I think. He's supposed to be doing this broadcast tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. Seeing the kids activate within a live space and letting the teachers and administrators and vendors see what that's all about. Other than that, man, I'm actually here to learn. Between my sessions that I have, I want to just sit in and kind of soak up what I don't know.
Love it. Jen, what about you?
Well, I'm also excited to see Chris's panel, but I think I'm going to have to touch on that whole having the kids play and then watching, Doc's going to be doing a presentation, but the kids are going to be playing at the same time, and I think it's going to be really awesome to see that go down. But also, being in the space, so we're going to be here in the booth, talking to all these different educators and seeing where they're at and letting them know, hey, we're here to help. You don't have to go about this alone. You're already doing 30 million other things. So, come to us, let us, kind of talk through that. So I'm really excited for all the different people that we've been able to talk to as well.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, when you do a lot of these shows and you go to a lot of conferences, the things that happen at all of them sort of just become like rote and it's just rinse and repeat. So, getting to see people getting excited about esports for the first time is always nice.
Yeah.
And I do think having the students playing over here, but then doing the actual live broadcast is something that's going to be different this time.
It's going to be different. Yeah.
And I think that'll be good, to your point, Chris, about teaching people what it really looks like, right? Like, this is just a setup in a booth at a show, but once we have the kids in here and they're doing their thing, then we get to really see how it unfolds.
So I have a question for you. So I know you guys do mini conferences. What does it feel like to have a space within a conference, within the EdTech conference, and have an esports section for the first time?
Amazing.
Yeah.
The fact that people walk up, they see us in our jerseys, they see the stuff, they know that we're here to help, and we're able to have this conversation. And we're really blessed because we're in a position where we're not sales folks. We're not here to hawk some hardware and be like, hey, you want to buy some laptops? No, we're here. What are you doing with your program? Because the hardware is a math problem. So
exactly.
We're really fortunate to be in that position, and so it's really nice that people know we're here. They see the flashy lights, which brings them in, and then we can have the conversations. Versus if we didn't have a dedicated space, it would be a little bit harder for people to know. I'm sure I would still track people down and be like, please talk to me about esports, please.
Come to booth 1 million.
Yeah. So it's really a unique opportunity that we have. It's exhausting, don't get me wrong. Especially, I will OCD on my cable management. They may call me out, but it's fine, it's worth it. But no, it's awesome that we get this opportunity, because it also lets schools know you don't have to just settle for buying hardware and then figuring it out after the fact, because that's what I think what happens a lot with some conferences is you see all these booths with these amazing technologies, and they'll want to tell you about them, and that's great and that's needed for the ecosystem. But at the end of the day, these educators, they leave and they're like, okay, I'd love to do all this, but what do I do? I'm going to have to spend, go get another doctorate just to learn how to do esports. But now, they know that we can set up a meeting after this and we can talk through how to start your esports program. So I think it's really special what we get to do right now.
Yeah, I like the way they set it up here too, where I might have to touch a camera and move it to show people. But so we're in the esports space that we've built out, which is the interactive space, so they can, they can play Rocket League, they can play Smash, people can come sit out and hang out. But right next to that, where you hear all the noise coming from as we're doing this, is a presentation, right, about esports, and it's the dedicated esports theater, so they can do the presentations over there, listen to a presentation, learn a little bit about it, and then they can take a couple steps over and dive in deeper. So we had somebody just before listen to a presentation over there, and then had a whole list of questions he had come up with, and he had a place to go with those. And then we've got, other folks also represented, other companies that work in the esports space all around this.
Sure.
So it makes it a good place for people to come and learn.
Touch, feel, see.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I want to thank both of you for coming on. I know we did this short notice. You were sitting over watching a presentation. I said, let's do it. Anything else you want to share other than Twitch announcements? Anything else you want to share before we hop off?
I want to get an understanding of, for you guys, this is a pretty big deal for you to be here and have this set up. So how long does it take to prepare for a conference like this?
That's you went big
Yeah.
on this
That's
one.
almost like asking somebody, how much did you spend on all that hobby that you got?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to think about it.
Right, yeah.
Fun fact before he gets into the numbers reading, it all fits in one box.
It does.
Yeah.
What type of box?
A big
A
box.
big box.
It's so the Indiana Jones crate, as we call it, is 7 feet by 7 feet by 7 feet.
Nice.
And it is 2,700 pounds when it's fully packed.
Gotten really good at Tetris.
Gotten really good at Tetris.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the things about this space is that this is like, we iterate on it every time. So this is different than it was a month ago at a show, and so like this whole podcast setup, brand new this time. If we're pushing, we can set it up in about 2.5 to 3 hours with 2 or 3 people.
And a lot of stress.
But we can casually get it done in like a day. So that's what we did this time, was just kind of, I say casual. Jen doesn't really attack anything casually.
Listen, if the cable management is
The
not on
OCD
point,
cable management.
That's so important.
it
and
should
I
be
love
appreciated. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, and I have another question. So for you guys and your company, what is the biggest fulfillment that you get out of what you do?
The biggest fulfillment. I mean, honestly, I think it's the fact that we know we're creating impact and we're helping build a community, because unfortunately without, and I don't want to say without our role, but without having this resource, a lot of schools wouldn't either start the program, or it would just be a babysitting club where it's like, hey, here's some computers. And I feel like there's this opportunity to make the best parts of esports, which is diversity and community. We're able to continue that and make sure that it's instilled in these programs. So I think for me, it's just reaching that impact. Like, how far can we go with it? How far can we keep everything going? So for me, that's what it is.
So impacting the students through the teachers and giving them a good program that they can sustain, self-sustain.
100%. Because I mean, when I was in school, so I never played traditional sports, but I was very fortunate. I had drama and my choir, big old nerd. So, for me, that's what tied me to my school. That's what gave me my school identity. And from there, I found my people. And so I know for for now, we now have this opportunity with esports to reach even more kids. And so if we're able to do that, we're able to open, broaden their horizons, that know that they can go on to college, do other things, get them tied back to school. I mean, you know all the benefits, so I don't need to preach them to you, but that's what we're able to do. And I think it's really, really important to put that work in.
Yeah, I'd say same answer. When we get to come here and we get to be close to the students, you all have brought some students here for this show. We've done it in the past. We were at another show last year where we had a student panel, and these students were saying, like, I'm different in these couple different ways, and I've never really had like a group of friends. Like, I've had a friend, right, but I've never had like a group of friends. I've never had a community. I never had a place where I really feel welcome. And they were up there, there's like 12 kids in this panel. They're like, now this is like our family.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so it really, like, it helps remind you that, like, that's why we're here, because you can get lost in the boxes and wires and all the rest of that.
So how often do you guys get to see parents? Do you guys get to be around parents a lot with what you do with CDW and kind of see their reactions and talk to them?
I personally haven't, unfortunately. I think it's just the events that I've been at.
So
Yeah.
I definitely think that even if you guys do it and it's not an event where you guys are working, just to see it, because what we get to see that all the time, where we have parents coming into our space and they get to see their students and their kids, but they get to see their kids completely change. Like, we have parents that come to us after being with us for like 3 hours, and the kids completely open up and the parents are crying and they're like, wow, like, I've never seen my student open up like this, even at home. They're like, who is this kid? What have you done to them? But we need more of it, because they found their people and they found their place, and they feel like this is a place where I can shine. And so that's a component. Like, if anybody ever needs inspiration in the space, being able to see the impact that you make on a student in such a short period of time, and then getting that parent testimony, because the parents change just as much as the kids.
Awesome. I think that's it. We nailed it. Brittany, you brought us home.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for hopping in here today, and we'll go get it. Let's do another session.
All right,
For sure.
let's go.
Hey.
Break.
Bye.